In this video, we are going to see how to create Nifty tasks from Google Sheet. So let's say here you're using Google Sheet as a spreadsheet where every time a new row is added with some data. So you want this information to be created as a task in Nifty, which is again a project management software. Now, how can you do this? For this, you will have to integrate the two applications, and the same thing can be done using Pabbly Connect software. Here your trigger application would be Google Sheets and your action application would be Nifty. Now, how can you do this yourself? Integrate and automate this entire process. To understand that, let me take you to my screen. To begin with the process, we are first going to type the URL pabbly.com/connect, and as we do that, here we have reached the landing page of this software. On the right hand side, you can see two options, sign in and sign up for free. So if you are an existing user, simply click on sign in. If you are a new user, click on this tab, sign up. It won't take more than 2 minutes, and also at the time of account creation, you will get 100 free tasks. So now I'm going to click on sign in. As I do that, here we have reached all applications page. Let's click on access now for Pabbly Connect. And here we have reached the dashboard. On the right hand side, you can see a tab create workflow. Let's click on this. Now a dialog box has appeared which is asking me to name this workflow. You can give any random name. Now what is my objective here? My objective is that I have got certain data in my Google Sheet about a new task. And now what I'm supposed to do is, with the data, I want to create a task in Nifty. So I'm going to name it as Create Nifty Tasks from Google Sheets. Let's click on Create. Now as I do that, here we have reached another window which has got two extremely important events. One is trigger, another one is action. Triggers and actions are basically those two principles or concepts on which this entire automation works. Trigger is when this happens, action says do this. Basically, action here is the response of your trigger application. Now, as per this integration, my trigger application here will be Google Sheets. Let's click on this. And now the trigger event. So this is the event that will make this workflow run, and here it would be new or updated spreadsheet row. Now here we have received a webhook URL which is going to act as a bridge for connecting Pabbly Connect with Google Sheets. So I'm going to copy this URL, and now we have to follow the following steps. So this here is the help desk. Please read this carefully. I'm going to show you what we have to do. So here I have already created a spreadsheet. Let's name this as new tasks. Okay, so the name of the spreadsheet is new task. Here I have got only one sheet. The name is sheet 1. Now here I have the following column fields: task name, task description, start date and due date. So these are the various tasks and the description, start date and due date. Now we have to go to extensions, then go to add-ons and get add-ons. Here we have reached Google Workspace Marketplace. We are going to look for Pabbly Connect webhooks. Let's click on this, and you can see that this particular app is already been installed on my system. So you have to install this, and once you do that, close this window and refresh the page. This is absolutely mandatory. And once you do that, please wait for a few seconds, and then we can go back to extensions. As we do that, here you would be able to see Pabbly Connect webhooks. Let's go to initial setup. And here you can see that another window has appeared and it has already selected the sheet. Now here we are supposed to paste the URL that we have just copied, and now comes the trigger column. Now this is the final data column where the data is supposed to be added. So as per this sheet, my data has finally been added to column number D. So I'm going to write D here, send test. As I do that, here you can see that the test data has been sent successfully. Now as I click on submit, so the configuration is all set. Let's close this window, go back to extensions, Pabbly Connect webhooks. Now here you can see send on event. As you click on this particular thing will be checked. Basically, every time a response is added here, you will be received a response on Pabbly Connect only when this particular thing has been checked. Here you can see this particular tick mark should be there. Now once this is done, I'm going to take you to Pabbly Connect to see if we have received the API response, and yes, here it is. This here is the trigger column, the task description, task name, start date, spreadsheet name, spreadsheet ID, sheet name, sheet ID, then we have row index, due date. Now we have received this information. With this, we want to create a task in Nifty. So my action application here would be Nifty. Let's click on this. And the action event here would be to create task. Let's click on connect. Here Pabbly Connect is asking to connect itself with Nifty PM account. I'm going to click on add new connection and connect with Nifty PM. So as we do that, here you can see that it is asking to give the following application access to your account. So I'm going to click allow. And you can see that the authorization has been successful, which basically means that Nifty and Pabbly Connect are now connected. Now here we have to map this information: task name, description, then we have the project ID, task group ID, milestone ID, start date and due date. First of all, the task name. How do I map this information? As I click on this, so I'll be shown the previous step, and here is the response, and this is the name of the task. Now similarly the description, so here is the description. This process with which I'm adding data here is known as mapping, and mapping is important so that every time the workflow runs, it can take new data into consideration, because if I had written this manually, so even when my workflow was running for the nth time with new data, it would have only taken this data. That is why we map the information. Next is the project ID. So here let me take you to my Nifty account. You can see that I have created only one project, which is PB Pro, and that is why Pabbly Connect has automatically taken the project ID. So if there were multiple and you would have clicked here, so it would have been shown in the drop down. Next is again task group ID. So here you can see for the task there is only one task here. So you can see that there is only one to do. Okay, this is the list. So here task group ID is to do. Next is milestone ID. So I'm just going to leave this blank. If you want, you can add this. Then we have the start date and the due date. So we have received the date, but here we have to map this or write this in a different format. So to change the format, I'm going to choose a feature by Pabbly, which is date time formatter. So let's write here date time formatter, and the action event here would be to format date with time zone. Let's click on connect, and now here I'm going to map the date. So first of all, the start date. Now what is the format? Month, date and year. So let's look for month, date and year. Here is the format. Then we have the to format. The to format will be this, and from time zone will be, it is from UTC to UTC. Now what is UTC? UTC is basically Indian Standard Time plus 5.5 hours. So please make sure that when you're selecting the time zone, it has to be in UTC. And this is how you will receive the date. Now I'm going to repeat the step for due date. So again, the application here would be date time formatter, and the action event would be format date with time zone. Let's click on connect. Now here again I'm going to map the date. So here we have to map the due date. So this here is the due date. And now what is the from format? Again it is month, date and year, this. Then the to format would be, this. Okay. Now the from time zone is UTC, and again the to time zone is UTC. And now I'm going to click on save and send test request. And here you can see that we have received the date. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to refresh this connection by selecting the existing connection. And once done, here let's map the start date. For this I'm going to go to step 2, and this here is the date. For the due date I'm going to go to step 3, and here is the due date. Then we have the banner. So if you want to enter any banner, you can enter it here. And then we have the assignees. So let me take you to Nifty once again. And here for PB Pro, you can see that I have got the following project members. So to get their ID, what we have to do, we have to add an action application, and the event would be get invitee, and the application would be Nifty. So here I'm going to add another action step. The application would be again Nifty. Let's click on this, and the action event here would be get invitee. Let's click on connect, and here again Pabbly Connect is asking to connect itself with Nifty PM account. I'm going to go ahead with the existing connection. And now as I click on save and send test request, so it is going to give me the information of all the members associated with this project. So here you can see this is member number 1, then again this is member number 2, then again as I go down this is member number 3, and then we have member number 4, and these are the user IDs and the member ID. Now what is that we are supposed to map? So here we have to map the member ID. So I'm going to quickly refresh this connection once again. And here I'm going to add the assignee IDs. So as I click on this, let's go to step 4, and let's say that I want to add dummy demo. So this here is the member ID. Now if you wish to add more than one person, you can just put a comma and add another ID. Now I'm going to click on save and send test request. And as I do that, here you can see that we have got the information that a task has been successfully created in Nifty. Let's go to Nifty now. And here I'm going to go to PB Pro. Let's go to task. And yes, you can see demo task has been created, which basically means that our integration process is a complete success. Now I'm going to take you back to Google Sheet, and here I'm going to add another task. Let's say the name of the task is appraisal confirmation. Okay, then the description. So percentage to be discussed. And now the start date. Let's say the start date is 2nd and it's 17th Feb 2023. Again, here the due date is same, so I'm going to copy this and paste this over here. Okay, as soon as this information is sorted, then what should happen? Automatically a task should be created in Nifty. So let's go to Nifty now, and here I'm going to close this. And you can see appraisal confirmation, this task has been created. And the due date is 17th of Feb, 5:30 AM. Then we have the assignee here is dummy demo. So this basically means that our integration process is a complete success. Going back to Pabbly Connect, let's quickly understand what we have done. So here our trigger application was Google Sheets, where the event was new or updated spreadsheet row. Then our first action application was Nifty PM, where we had to create a task. Now to change the date, we had chosen a feature by Pabbly date time formatter, where we had formatted the due date and the start date. And finally, to get the member ID, we had chosen the action application Nifty, and the event here was get invitee, where we had received the member IDs. I hope this is absolutely clear to you. If in case you have any doubt, you can refer to the workflow which is given in the video description. You can also clone the same and start to process immediately. Apart from this, if you have any specific integration to work on, you can always write to us. Not only this, but you can integrate multiple applications using Pabbly Connect software. To ask any of your query, you have to write at forum.pabbly.com. You can also visit our website, which is www.pabbly.com/connect. To get all the details about the latest updates, the integrations and applications, you can visit our Facebook group. If in case you have found this video helpful, then do not forget to share this with your friends and colleagues so that they can also get into automation and make their life easy. I'm going to see you very soon with different integrations and automations. Do not forget to like, share and subscribe. Take care of yourself.